The fundamental kind of framework of positive intelligence is to develop mental fitness, which at its essence is how do you navigate challenges from a positive mindset rather than a negative one. So more often than not, a challenge comes up and we move into stress, and then we start to move into negative emotions, fear, scarcity, doubt, shame, guilt. Like there's all these different negative emotions, and that's what's kind of guiding us through a challenge. So how do we actively develop positive emotions and meet those same challenges head on with those, because we just get way better results. I've had a lot of clients in burnout, and often it's a conversation with me and we're talking or they're exploring what's going on. They're like, sounds like you're burnt out. And they're like, oh yeah, maybe I am. And like, I think there's some denial, or like they're so burnt out they can't see it. So sometimes having that conversation, be like, I think you're completely maxed out, opens the door to like, I need to do something different in order to manage this. And there's usually some kind of tipping point, but there needs to be a level of buy-in from that person to say, I need to do something different in order to get a different result.
What can you tell us about the framework? What can you tell us about, what's this all about, this mental fitness?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question. I guess there's three kind of key pillars to what this is. The first is, in a way, mindfulness or root level meditation and mindfulness techniques, but the focus is on having it be applicable in real time situations. So the reason I have a hard time with mindfulness, especially clients that are like, I need to be more mindful, I want to have a meditation practice, it doesn't really work when you're in the heat of the moment, or you're in the car and somebody cuts you off, or you're in a meeting with somebody or whatever. It's not like you can just dip out and go do a 20-minute meditation to recenter. So how do you have a more active practice to have more command over your mind, which is at the root of what mindfulness does? So the first pillar is developing that muscle of self-command. So being able to command your mind to shift back to what you want it to be focused on, rather than being hijacked or triggered and just like spinning on whatever it is that has you triggered or upset or frustrated or whatever it is. So that's one aspect, and increasing your awareness and ability to shift out of those states is a big part of that. The second is saboteur awareness. So the term saboteur is essentially like an archetypal way that we self-sabotage. And they've identified through a bunch of research 9 core ways that we do this, and we are varying degrees of it. So one example is the pleaser, which is my top one. We kind of give a lot. We give to the point where we might be burnt out, and then get resentful, and it kind of spiral on things, and we're not always asking for what we want. So that's one archetype. But there's 9 others, and we might be able to get into those. But there's an awareness of what are those patterns? Because often we kind of know them, but not really. So really having a label for them helps understand how we're getting in our own way. And then third is, once you've slowed down a little bit, have more command over your mind, you're seeing how you're getting in your own way, what do you do next? What are some strategies for moving through a challenging situation, depending on the situation, to operate from a more positive? One of the people in the program recently said, I'm listening better. Often there's a discomfort with slowing down. It's not a normal default mode to slow down, hold space for somebody, let them be uncomfortable, and have them process what they need to process so they can take the next step, and you hold them accountable to it. In a work context, at home, same thing, to slow down and just be there and listen so they feel heard can be really uncomfortable and weird for people. And it lends itself to be able to do that more and better. And I think the other thing I'll mention with that is we have mirror neurons. So when we see somebody else in hijack mode, upset mode, or discomfort, we feel that and we take that on. And that's why a lot of conflict happens, because somebody's in saboteur mode, they're hijacked, and that triggers our judge, and saboteur is in hijack mode. And then it's just like a frenzy. But if at least one of us has the language and the tool to slow down and back off, it allows them to slow down, back off, because they're mirroring us now. And I see that a lot with my kid. It's just how I'm managing myself and my emotions. It's very present with her. And that plays out just on a more subtle level, I think, everywhere at work and at home.